Hey guys, welcome to our channel. We're offended, you're offended. So this is part two of the previous video that you were listening to before. We start to dive more into conspiracy theories, and apparently that took us on one heck of a rabbit hole. So you guys didn't have to sit and listen through 3 hours of one podcast. I had split it in two. So this is the second half, and let's just dive right on in.
Conspiracy theories, I don't know why that's gotten such a dirty name. Like a conspiracy, like it was the thought of people conspiring to do something. That's really all a conspiracy theory is. But they get lumped in with, like there
Crazy
was.
people.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna like there was like what would people argue or make points about crazy stuff.
Aliens?
But then, well, yeah, like aliens or I don't know, like I do want to say 9/11. Oh, 9/11 was an inside job. Oh, look,
Oh, yeah. That
okay,
was a big one.
yeah, like there are some things that are weird about it. Like, god damn it, now I'm gonna sound like a fucking tinfoil fucker. So there was, I think it was something like 22 or 23 of the pilots for that committed the 9/11 attacks were all trained from Saudi Arabia. But for
Interesting.
some reason, the United States went after Iraq and Afghanistan. That made no sense to me. That, like, that would be like you punching me in the face and I go punch the kids in the face in retaliation. Like, the fuck did Iraq do? But
Right?
remember, they were saying Saddam Hussein and weapons of mass destruction. There was all that. But anyways, so there was
God, we should do an episode on conspiracy theories. Let's just say.
there,
There are so many
but
of
they're
them. So many of them are so interesting. I think we should do an episode on conspiracy
they're fun. That's the thing.
theories. The thing is, it's a different way in thinking. It's challenging your brain. It's making you look at things in a different way. Like, I don't find it a bad thing whatsoever. If someone wants to talk about conspiracy theories, I can sit there and listen and kind of, okay, well, I could understand how someone could come to this conclusion or someone would think this based on the evidence that's at hand. Do I believe it? Maybe not, but I could understand how someone could come to that. Like they're
So so
interesting.
so like there's this thing that's been going around, like the conspiracy theories Alex Jones got right.
A
And
lot
like
of them.
they're crazy stuff. And if you look, like, Canada does this stuff too, but it's not as sexy as, the Bay of Pigs or the like any of that type of stuff. It's not as sexy. The US was fighting, wanted to invade Cuba. So they, what was it, Operation Paperclip or whatever? They
I don't
wanted to, do you know what that is?
know. I have no clue.
If I remember correctly, and I'm not going to look it up. Oh, maybe I'll look it up. We'll see. But Operation Paperclip was signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So this is all US stuff. The Joint Chiefs of Staff to invade Cuba. How were they going to do it, you ask? Big
Paperclip?
Daddy Tyler will tell you.
Yeah.
Yes, they were going to create a paperclip in the shape of a gun, and they were going to have Cuban nationalists point them at people and go bang bang.
I knew it.
No. But so what? So Operation Paperclip was they were going to fly remote planes, and the U.S. was going to shoot down these planes, saying that U.S. citizens were in those planes, and that would give them justification to invade Cuba.
Ooh, that's dirty. They were going to
But
set
you
them
think that,
up.
well, you think that they don't do this type of stuff? And you know what? For anyone that says, oh, you got to stay on topic, fuck you. It's a conversation. So with so they were looking at doing that, and so there was a bunch of things that, like, what did Alex Jones get right? Like, you remember him saying the big meme, the turn the freaking frogs gay, that thing,
The what? Sorry, you kind of cut out a bit there.
turning the freaking frogs gay,
Oh,
that thing.
no. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's actually, it's true to an extent, because the plastics that are being, that we throw away are just, they're being absorbed by animals. Like, there's plastic in our bodies now, like in our
Right.
bodies. And
Now
so
I'm
it's lowering, like, yeah, like it's lowering, like, male sperm count. Men are becoming more feminine, and, like, sorry,
They're not
I
reproducing
love
the
to,
same either. Yeah.
yeah, no, I love, like, just sometimes I just need to suck a dick.
Yeah.
Can't help it. Just, but,
Pictures or video, baby.
no, but those, or like the animal human hybrids. People were saying, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Well, that's true. They were doing that with monkeys, making, like, genetically splicing humans with monkeys in order to create organs. People thought he was just crazy.
What about even the main, well, not the main one, but I think like the one that most people would remember was the whole Epstein Island thing. All that shit on Epstein that he talked about, it all came true.
So this is from debate.org. So he was right about BPA plastic, TV spying on you, like with cameras and mics.
TVs?
Yeah.
How,
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when we bought our TV and the end user agreement? Oh, we could send you personalized ads and all this stuff.
that's right. That's why we disabled all that stuff. Ew, ew. That's right.
Mm.
See, I block stuff out. I think it's trauma. I block out traumatic things from my brain because it just disturbs me. God, if I think about all the things, like I mean, it's funny because with that, like I know when you think about things like Nest or that Google or whatever, like Google Speaker, Alexa, I know you're so against those, but the funny thing is that we
Uh-huh.
literally walk around with that shit on a daily basis. We have our phones.
Yes. Yes. But the point is, what does Alexa do that my phone fucking listens enough? Like, one thing I found crazy, there was some stuff that was leaked about Mark Zuckerberg. He uses Signal. You know what Signal is?
Well, I know what a signal is, but I'm assuming it's not what you're talking
So it's an encrypted app. So it hides it encrypts, like, your text messages, phone calls, all this type of stuff.
about. Okay.
So Mark Zuckerberg, do you remember when he was in Congress? He was when all the memes started that he looks like a fucking robot, and look at how he drinks water. He drinks water like an alien,
I remember
like he
that,
doesn't know how
but
to drink water.
wasn't he on trial for something?
So it's just a hearing, probably, whatever argument about not Facebook not honoring this, and then government doing nothing, and they just, oh, I'm sorry, we'll fix it in the future. But anyways, that's besides the point.
Okay.
He, on his laptop, he had tape covering the camera.
Are you serious? Mark
So
Zuckerberg of all people. Yeah, okay.
yeah, so it's stuff like that. So if the people that are running these do these types of things, what the fuck do you think they're doing with your stuff? Like that's pretty fucking.
I know in my old laptop, I don't know if you did it on this laptop or not, but I used to have electrical tape covering up the camera on there.
No, but if whoever wants to look at my fat ass, fucking go for it.
But see, but that's where, okay,
Sure.
that's where it becomes contradictory though, right? Like you have all these other things that'll do it, but then one thing like the speaker, nay. That's where I draw the line.
The thing is, I can shut my phone off.
You
I
can
can
shut the
shut it off.
speaker off.
Yeah, you can shut Alexa off by throwing it out the fucking window. That's how you shut it off. Oh, shut up, you. Shh.
Did you hiccup or was that Reese?
No, it's Reese barking at someone. Go away.
Oh, it totally sounded like a
Yeah, you. No. Okay, but so yeah, it's I don't remember what the fuck we were initially talking about.
But you're really just not on point today. Well, we were we were just talking about Alexa and Mark Zuckerberg.
No, I know that. No, I know that. Before that, what was the what? I don't know. Whatever. Doesn't fucking matter. But
well, we were talking about what's his name being right on a lot of his conspiracies.
Oh, right, Alex Jones.
Thank you.
Yeah. But so, oh yeah, fucking 9/11 being an inside job. So like when you see the government say like I said with Operation Paperclip, or like experimental drugs like what was Midnight Climax, MK Ultra stuff. That's real stuff. Like it's the stuff that people have proof of is fucking crazy. Do you know the Midnight Climax?
No.
So that was where they would give people drugs at like strip clubs and then see how it would affect them.
Kind of drugs?
So, I don't know, what was it, like LSD and some other shit. See,
how would they give it to them then? Like in their drinks, or they put it in the air?
They would sneak it to them. Operation Midnight Climax from Wikipedia, however you want to really trust it, was an operation carried out by the CIA as a sub-project of Project MK Ultra, the mind control research program that began in 1950s. So, how they were doing it. The CIA was running a safe house in San Francisco and Mill Valley, California, and in New York. It was established in order to study the effects of LSD on unconsenting individuals. Prostitutes on the CIA payroll were instructed to lure clients back to the safe houses where they were whatever. They were given drugs. Yeah. So they were giving them LSD, and then they would watch these people behind closed one-way mirrors. Prostitutes were instructed in the use of the post-coital questioning to investigate whether the victims could be convinced to involuntarily reveal secrets. The victims were sometimes fed subliminal messages in attempts to induce them to involuntary actions, including criminal activities such as robbery, assault, and assassination. This is the same type of shit. Fuck yeah. Okay, so you're here. We're gonna
messed up.
Grab another fucking layer of tinfoil because we're going fucking deep. We're going deeper now. This program was the same shit that Charlie Manson was a part of.
Oh my god! The funny thing is, when you were saying this, I was literally just about to interrupt you and say that this sounds like some Charles Manson shit. And
that's
all right.
Where, yeah, that's where he's from. That's why Charles Manson kept saying like, "I'm not a part of your system, man." Like all that type of shit. Like he was very like. I don't know if people know, and I hope people do know. Charles Manson wasn't stupid. He was actually, I believe, he was considered like a genius. Like he had genius level of intelligence.
Oddly enough, A lot of serial killers do. But just a little plug here, which we're not getting anything from, but there's a book called Chaos. It's about Charles Manson, the CIA, and the secret history of the 60s. It's by Tom O'Neill. Check that book out. It talks a lot about this kind of stuff.
Holy shit. Manson scored a 109 on one prison IQ test when he was 16 and 121 on another a few years later. The first result is slightly above average. The second is said to have been high normal range. He wasn't stupid. He was very intelligent.
Yeah, and got his brain.
His ability to self-censor his conduct in society was glaringly lacking. He was unable to have access or any success with his fledgling career in the music industry. But yeah, so like,
that's what's so messed up, though, is you have things like the CIA or whatever, and they're experimenting on people unknowingly, trying to see if they can do mind control, dosing them with drugs to see if they can subliminal messaging, to see what it is that they can get somebody else to do. And the thing is, then what happens? Then when that person actually commits a crime or does something, they're the ones that are going to jail. And oh, well, CIA just continues to do their little research and experiments and stuff like that. They're not the ones that are ending up behind bars for doing these things to people. And that's really gross.
Oh my God. Okay, so take this how you will. I'm going down a rabbit hole now. So I'm looking at bestlifeonline.com, 25 conspiracy theories that turned out to be true. The U.S. government poisoned alcohol during Prohibition. Number 2, there was a gaydar machine developed by the Canadian government. What?
What?
In the 1950s, the Canadian government hired a university professor to develop a machine that was supposedly able to detect whether or not federal employees were gay, or to use a derogatory term, fruits, called the fruit machine. The apparatus measured pupil dilation in response to same-sex erotic imagery. Holy fuck. It went on until the 1960s, and many men lost their jobs.
Wow.
The U.S. government used dead body parts of infants and children for radioactive testing without permission. Yeah, okay, here we go. Yeah, the CIA... Unique New York. The CIA secretly gave LSD to unsuspecting individuals to test mind control. The Gulf of Tonkin attack never happened. Do you remember hearing about the Gulf of Tonkin?
No.
Okay, so this was to get the U.S. into the Vietnam War. Where's it say? In 1964, President Lyndon Johnson told the public that U.S. ships were attacked by the Vietnamese, known as the Gulf of Tonkin attack, to gain the support of American citizens for the Vietnam War. However, a year later, Johnson admitted there was no attack, and he was quoted as saying, "For all I know, our Navy was shooting at whales out there." In 2005, official documents from the National Security Agency were released that confirmed the whole Gulf of Tonkin attack never happened and was fabricated to gain support for the war.
What?
Yeah. Okay, here's another one. This is fucked up. 28 black men died of treatable syphilis for science. And I'm sure some people have heard about these guys. The Tuskegee, I don't know, I always fuck it up. I can never test, whatever. So this study was done in order to test how syphilis would react in the African American population. Untreated. They would inject people with syphilis and just let them fucking die.
That is so gross.
Yeah. So it says here, the untreated syphilis in the Negro male was a public health service study that began in 1932 and recruited 600 poor black men from Alabama as its subjects. The men were told they'd receive treatment for bad blood, colloquialism for syphilis, anemia, and fatigue. But they were misled. Researchers continued the experiment even after penicillin was proven to treat syphilis in 1945. It finally stopped in 1972
Oh my God.
after the New York Times broke the story.
It was
So,
going
and
on for over 40
there's,
years.
yeah.
Oh my God. All the people they would have killed.
Okay, so and here's this one. You know, the thing with like this put Alex Jones on the map. Bohemian Grove. He was saying all the ultra elites go to this island, and they, or not an island, but well, some of them do. Some of them go to an island, you know, with Epstein and shit. But yeah, they that whole thing was true. He was saying that all these ultra rich people go and they dress up and they're, you know, just fucked. Well, yeah, everyone knows this one. The Nazi, or the U.S. government employed Nazi scientists. That was the Manhattan Project. Everyone.
I didn't know that.
Oh, that was Operation Paperclip. Then what the fuck was the other one called?
Cuba one?
Yes. Then what was that one called then? Oh, here we go. What was it? Operation Northwoods. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah, it was Operation Northwoods. Operation Paperclip was yeah, that was the sort of I believe the Manhattan Project, and oh yeah, some of these scientists were involved in Project MK Ultra.
So what did were they doing? Like, I don't understand. What were they doing with the Nazis?
Okay, so Nazi Germany was years ahead of the Americas in terms of technology. Like the V2 rocket, it was an I think it was a ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile. Like it reached super fucking far for the time.
Okay.
So, well, we got these guys. Like we have these scientists. They were developing all this super fucking cool stuff. Well,
Oh, yeah.
the war's over, so yeah, no, they were. That's how they ended up, I guess, developing all this stuff. Well, not guess that is how.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so there was Osama bin Laden was hunted down through a fake vaccination program. I remember there was a lot of this type of shit. Yeah. I remember. Yeah. So, but anyways, so when you hear that, like the type of stuff government does do that is confirmable, that we can confirmable. Not that far of a stretch to think kind of fucking other weird shit that they do. They just haven't done yet. But Jugger did bring up a very good point. Those 9/11 planes, there was some weird wreckage, or no wreckage. Oh, I don't know. It's fun. It's fun to think. But like I said, just with the stuff that's provable. Wait, did I say Jugger? I meant Jimmy Jetz. Fuck.
Actually,
I just seen the J in it.
actually, why don't you pull him in here right now? Jimmy Jetz is listening right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, pull him in.
Okay, that's fucking weird. Normally we ask people, but
Well, he's actually asking to come in, so bring him on in.
Oh.
Yeah. No, we're just gonna randomly pull people in. Suckers, did you get for listening?
You should be able. Should be able to talk, I think.
Hopefully.
I am here. What's going on?
Hey, Jimmy.
Jimmy Jetz. Yeah, so we're well, I'm sure you've been listening that we're going down the conspiracy fucking train.
I love those.
Chew.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, do we want to go real full into the conspiracy? And
The
this
rabbit
episode
hole.
start a new one?
The rabbit hole is like a black hole.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know. We can always just chop this one up. So, all right, Jimmy, what's your favorite? What's your favorite conspiracy theorist?
Theory.
My favorite conspiracy theory from what year to what year?
Oh, any.
All time, baby.
All time.
I know there's a lot.
There is
Bigfoot.
A lot of conspiracy theory.
I'd say ones that could be substantiated. Like if it weren't for like an outright omission, not this person did this and he's somehow connected to this guy and this guy did this with that and then all of a sudden, yeah, he's my neighbor's fucking mailman. You know?
I don't know. I'm all about those ones that you can't prove right now.
So
the UFOs.
The UFOs? Oh, I this has always been my kind of position on it. You would have to either be very ignorant or arrogant in order to think. Ignorant in terms of you don't understand. Like, and I'm a moron. I don't fucking know anything. But how big the universe is, that, well, we're the only thing in this universe.
Well, we know we're the only thing in this galaxy.
For now, even our own galaxy, like, yeah. But even,
but are we?
And I think so. I don't think so.
My conspiracy theory is that, you know, they always say that aliens are among us. And I'm saying that we're the aliens. And I'm saying that, you know, people seeing UFOs might be advanced us watching back on us that they don't want to interrupt because they had to fix something.
You know what? I've actually heard that before of people talking about that. You know, the long fingers were because of all the texting and stuff like that, and even the big eyes from staring at screens all the time. I've heard that theory before.
So I want you to look up something, and it's funny. There's the two sun universe, where our universe our galaxy used to have two suns, and billions and trillions of years ago, one of them exploded. And if you look at the size of the planets and moons,
Nemesis theory.
Some of that stuff came into our, you know, rotation with the sun, because their sun, you know, exploded or whatever. And then the remnants, like the asteroid belts and all that stuff that we have within our galaxy are those messed up planets in that blown up sun.
I remember seeing from Neil deGrasse Tyson was talking about this. Yeah. It's called the Nemesis theory.
Yeah, because you're thinking, because look at Mars, and that's why they want to go to Mars to find, see if there was civilization before, because of the atmosphere that's currently there must have been extremely, you know, greater at a different point in time. And so what if we are the descendants of, let's say, the Mars planet, and they came over here and inhabited, you know? I always like that theory that, you know, why are humans sunburning, you know, on a planet that they evolved on?
Yeah, that's an interesting thought.
Well, I think, like, in terms of, like, our genetics. So, like, you know, I guess the kind of accepted theory that, like, we all came from Africa. That's where we've all originated from.
That's where the spacecraft landed.
Very well could have
There you
been.
go.
Well, Egypt is in Africa.
It is absolutely.
So people think like the Middle East is somewhere else. No, it's the northeastern tip of Africa.
Oh yeah, I've done my DNA stuff, and and it says that we all originate from Africa, and then move around the continents and everything else.
Yeah. So I think it was we started in Africa. Some ended up migrating east, and some started migrating north. Well, I guess you can't go west because there's a fucking big body of water there.
But you got to remember too that all the land masses used to be together.
Yeah, they were a lot closer than they are now.
So there were land bridges. There were, the ocean might not have been as high enough because of the ice at the time was a lot thicker up on the North and South poles.
Yeah.
So and that's just true. Like today, everyone talking about the whole other thing is climate change, and every couple thousand years, this planet goes through climate change, and it's doing it right now.
Yeah.
But and so back then, you could have easily went from Alaska to Russia, over to the Southeast Asia because there was literally
Bering
a bridge.
Yeah, or what's the Bering Strait? No, that's a fucking the land bridge over from Russia to Alaska.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I know what you're
you
talking about.
What the fuck was that called? Whatever, it doesn't matter. That thing, whatever. But yeah, it's but as our people amaze me with how adaptable we are. Like that's how humans have become the dominant species.
Yeah, and
we adapt to our environment. Oh, was it Bering Strait? Okay.
Yeah.
So they we adapt to our climates so incredibly fast. Like I remember seeing in terms of like the trucking industry, it's a lot of East Indian people, and they come from like Pakistan, from India, where it's typically it's hot. And then they come to Canada, and it's within, I'd say maybe 2-3 years. A winter is just a normal, like a natural born citizen treats a winter. And it's so incredible how fast we can adapt to our environments. And like how our skin, most reason why black people are black is because, well, their skin naturally darkened in order to protect them so that they don't, well, I guess as we move to colder climates, what?
So they don't burn?
Well, I guess for the ability to absorb sun. So, like, if you look in Europe and, well, I guess the natural kind of evolution of people was they needed to get more sunlight. Like we're solar powered. Freeze as that is, we are solar powered beings.
Yeah, the vitamin D.
Yeah. Like they say, you need vitamin D. It gives you energy. It boosts everything in your body. We're fucking solar powered.
Not only solar powered, but I mean, I think there was different species of, there were many different species of the humanoids that were once on this earth, and we're the descendants of whatever. But I mean, that's why you have these people of color, of different colors, what I mean? Lighter, darker, white, whatever. And look at our eyes as well. All of our eyes are different. All of our noses are different based on different regions that we come from. And so how long does that take to happen? Does it take 1 million years for someone to change like that, or a species? Does it take 1 billion years?
It takes a long time. I can't remember the exact dates, but I know with blue eyes, your traditional eye color is brown, and blue eye is considered actually a birth defect.
So they consider they say they can trace back blue eyes all the way back to an individual that had blue eyes based on one individual. So,
oh my God.
I don't know about that, but I mean, they're all derived from the same woman back in whatever. And I don't know. I don't want to find the story right now, but When you base stuff off ancestry and DNA and history, there's still a lot of stuff we don't know about our own history because we've been lied to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Then there's even in terms of like there was recently another discovery that it was like another link in the human evolutionary chain was just recently discovered,
And it wasn't Bigfoot.
Was not Bigfoot. I think
Still out there.
and this kind of no. I think it's I think it's dead. Like not the one that like people say like, oh, Bigfoot, he's an interdimensional being and he can turn into other things. Like real animals are fucking insane. Like the real stuff that we have is mind-boggling. Even the stuff that existed, like that we can prove existed, or scientists can. I can't because I'm a fucking moron.
I mean, look at the fossils and bones that they're finding of things. You know what I mean? Of animals, of people that were 8 foot tall, 9 foot tall.
Yes. Yeah, they were all like gingers. Yeah.
And so it's the same like the species that came from Egypt. You know how if you look at the description of the Anunnaki, they were huge people. They were very tall, very tall, glowing like people, or the what are they? Not just the Anunnaki. Where were they? What else were they called?
Well, I guess religiously they called them the Nephilim. But yeah, but I know what you're talking. These people were fucking huge. Like our tallest person is average height to them. They were like 8-9 feet tall. They were gigantic.
I knew that they found other people that were so tiny. Like when you go on like the non-such and you see how tiny people used to be. I didn't realize they had like Amazon people.
No, Amazon. No, those they got fuck all on these. These were like Nordic fucking gods. They were huge people. Whatever genus they were of human or hominid, they were gigantic.
I mean, the History Channel shows us, a lot of different things, and I like some of those shows that come on there. Some of them are just entertainment purpose, but
yeah,
it's supposed to be history based on because we're watching History Channel.
So
but a lot of that stuff is true. It's just people don't want to accept it. That there were ancient races. We don't even know what the pyramids were made for. So, or why they were made. The excuse that they were made for kings and all that stuff. Nah, not true. But there's physicists and scientists and everything that say they're giant batteries.
Huh?
Yeah.
I still maintain they were made by aliens. There's no way humans could make that, especially back then. But that's my theory.
Well, it's just like the Incas, you know what I mean? The Mayan ruins. There's no way we could duplicate the way they shaped those rocks today. It looks like those rocks were literally boiled or melted and, put together. It's weird.
So this is an article from Archaeology World. The mystery behind the 18 giant skeletons found in the USA. They were uncovered 107 years ago. In burial mounds near Lake Delavan, Wisconsin. See, I remember seeing something different. But these people are huge, like double the size of an average man. Their heights range between 7.6 and 10 feet. And their skulls, presumably those of men, are much larger than the heads of any race which inhabit America today. They tend to have a double row of teeth, 6 fingers, 6 toes, and like humans, come in different races.
Oh my God.
So I want to remind folks that this period in history is just one period in history that was not lost to fires in Greek library or raiding or whatever. We got to remember that this world was once flooded, and that world before us was different and changed. You know what I mean? And there's proof of that stuff. And that's why this world was flooded at one time to change all that stuff and to create something new and better. if you want to follow the religion theories.
Well, and wait, did we just die?
No,
Okay. Oh, okay. But yeah, no, well, and
There's a big asteroid. We all died, guys.
I just pinched myself. I'm still here.
okay. But yeah, like in terms of like
Hold on.
like
Sorry.
with
Before you go on okay, with so you were saying like the earth was flooded and stuff like that, if you want to believe in the religious aspect of it. Is there proof on the earth that it showed, like you can see proof that the earth had been flooded at one point in time, regardless of why?
So they've already proved
yes.
the earth was flooded, but it wasn't totally flooded. It only flooded certain areas.
Oh, okay.
Because water could never, there could be never, no, that's too much water to flood the entire earth. But again,
Sure.
there is evidence that parts of the earth has flooded to an abundance of that I couldn't even imagine. And there, how long did they say Noah's stuff, was floating out in sea for a while? How long was he out on the
40
sea?
days and 40 nights?
It rained for 40 days and 40 nights.
Yeah.
And that's what lifted Noah's Ark out up into the waters. But how long did he actually stay afloat? You know what I mean? Do you remember how long he stayed afloat?
150 days, apparently. According to the Google, it was 150 days.
Right. So there's no way that water could dissipate within 150 days to be that substantial.
So there's been the theory of, I think it was from Randall Carlson. I remember seeing some talks with him, and he's been a pretty big proponent that the Earth was, during the Ice Age, the Earth was struck by a meteor, and it caused the end of the Ice Age.
Isn't that what caused the Ice Age to begin with, or like
right? So that meteor that supposedly caused the Ice Age hit in the Gulf of Mexico.
Well, that was the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. Oh fuck! I normally remember the name of it.
Wouldn't that kind of be the same one?
No, it was a different one. That was the one that wiped out the dinosaurs.
What about Yellowstone? The last Yellowstone eruption, that could have done it.
Very well could have. Yellowstone, for anyone that doesn't know, Yellowstone is fucking terrifying. That is scary. Like,
talk about going off subject.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, I guess I'll finish the points. But so he's proclaimed, and he's done a lot of study on this, that a meteor struck the Earth and it forced the end of the Ice Age. It was between 14 and 12,000 years ago. And he said that you can tell by, like on like a sandy beach, you'll have like those ripples. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They'll get like little sand deposits, and they like naturally ripple.
Yeah.
He says you can see that over miles of land. That same phenomena that happens with fast moving water, like with the tide coming in and out. You can see that on land. And say something like that horseshoe shape, like that, Niagara is famous for. There's a bunch of places that have that. And he was saying, in order for that amount of material to be moved, hundreds of thousands of gallons of water per second would have to be moving through this area. And you know what? This is his study. Like, this is what he does. So that type of information is, if it's true, and I don't see a reason not to believe it. Like, the Earth has been hit before by meteors. We're not immune from it. So, but yeah, it's such a crazy. If it is considered true, which I don't see why not. He makes a very convincing argument. All right, someone else pick up the fucking mantle here. I can keep talking if you really want. Okay, so
No.
I know in Mexico. One thing that I found crazy with that, in the ocean, you can see where like what's it called, the topographical imaging of where that meteor struck. You can see the ripples, like the Earth is scarred from that fucking meteor.
Oh yeah,
that is crazy.
Just go to Google Earth.
Yeah,
Run the satellite.
Yeah, fuck is that place called? But yeah, no, it's that's fucking crazy. And one thing that I found interesting, so one argument that I heard, like with regards to say like global warming, climate change, with the dinosaurs, CO2 was way higher than what it is now. So it actually was able to sustain larger animals. That was my understanding. And then meteor came and fucked it all up.
Oh, just imagine if that meteor or the ice age didn't happen. Okay, now no one said anything about a Neanderthal or humans being around during the year, the dinosaur, other than a cave dwelling Neanderthal or whatever. It was, they were saying the humans were at its basic form at that time again, and they survived.
Yeah, they were saying that we were like a little shrew. That's what we ended up evolving from. It was like a little rat.
Nah. A lizard maybe, but not a rat.
Well, I don't know, 150 million years ago?
Well, it takes a million years for a change, an evolutionary change, to stick.
Yeah.
So, wow. That's not going to happen within 14,000 years ago. This is another reason why I'm saying, we might not be from here.
No, but it was more that impact that happened 14,000 years ago it triggered the end of the ice age. Because they have found like archaeological like remains up until that point, and possibly even beyond that. Like there was the famous one, I believe it's in Peru, and it's a settled civilization, like a modern civilization, a city. And I don't know, just something happened. Whatever ended this place, it's gone. Wow. I'm looking at that meteor impact. Fucking just incredible, the amount of damage that thing does.
Yeah.
Well, and actually I remember seeing an article that was talking about every year we go through like that same, I guess it's called the Taurid meteor stream. That's just part of the same stream that this meteor came from. That my uninformed hunch would be that when another planet collided with Earth, there is evidence that even that happened.
Yeah, there is actually, and they're finding the what do they call the minerals and stuff?
Nuclear glass, that or no, that's meteor impacts.
That I don't think that's just meteor impact. I think someone got deaded because over in the Middle East, that was a big glass factory. Based on history, there was a nuclear event that happened over in that area, and there's still radiological, surveys going on over there. They're, in that area where they find that glass in that desert, and the temperature It was either one, a huge asteroid that hit it, or some kind of nuclear device went off.
That's where in India?
It's somewhere in the Middle East. I don't remember where it's at.
Formed by ancient atomic bombs.
Right. So where did those atomic bombs come from? Again, we are not from here, and I think maybe we, had something to do with that back in the day. Okay, a little bit off topic. So you ever watch that show Battlestar Galactica?
I did a little bit.
I want you to watch like the last 2 episodes of that. Well, actually, first I want you to watch Caprica. Watch Caprica. It's called Caprica. It's a sci-fi show. It's the beginnings of Battlestar Galactica. It's like the prequel.
Okay.
And then watch Battlestar Galactica. I mean, you can watch the different seasons or whatever, but just like if you watch Caprica and then you watch like the last 2 episodes, then you don't have to freaking go where I'm going. But so you watch the like the prequel, watch the first couple episodes, then watch like the last couple episodes where Cylons and all that stuff was made, and then watch Battlestar Galactica entry, then watch the last 2 episodes, and then you'll see what I'm talking about. Because at the very end of Battlestar Galactica, they come to Terra with Earth or whatever, and then they send their ships into space, so they don't have any of that technology. They send the ships into the sun. And then they integrate with the local populace or whatever,
Oh shit!
Over years of that. So I mean, that's a huge, whoever wrote that theory is awesome, because we don't know we don't know where we've come from other than the knowledge. Every piece of history that we ever learned and have is on this planet.
Yeah,
and this planet is so small. You know what I mean? In this vast universe, if something on another planet this size disappeared, we would never know. We would never know the history. We would never know nothing.
Yeah.
And no one would even, and if something happened to us, no one, a distant being or anything would never find us unless one of our satellites or whatever, and then they'd be looking for us and they'd find an asteroid belt or whatever where this planet used to be.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
and that was one argument that I think it was Stephen Hawking was saying that this is why we need to go to another planet.
Well, Elon Musk wants to do that. Stephen Hawking said, don't do aliens because you don't ever know what you're going to get. You don't know if they're going to be peaceful, or if they're going to want to try to take over your resources or what.
That's one thing that I actually find really, really not scary, but really weird. Like we just sent out like a cat call to the universe. Like, hey, if you're looking for some dick, I'll you guys come this way. Like,
right, all of our resources belong to you. Come here.
Yeah.
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 And just like the Matrix, you can use this as little batteries because we run on D.
Yeah. I know I run on D. Just saying.
Well, family oriented show. Hello.
Nope.
I think it actually specifically says that it's not family friendly.
Yes.
There's a joke.
So yeah, I'm looking more into this nuclear glass, and they're saying it only happens. The temperature has to reach 3,300 degrees Fahrenheit. So whatever fucking happens, and that normally only happens with a nuclear. Well, obviously with like a nuclear bomb, but
right, the temperature had to be just stupid. And look at the civilizations that were in that area during that time that supposedly happened. It wiped them out completely.
Yeah. Yeah, the extension of the cast in the desert would require that the explosion be 10,000 times more powerful than that observed in New Mexico. Many scientists have sought to explain the dispersion of large glass rocks in the deserts of Libya, the Sahara, Mojave, and many other places in the world as products of gigantic meteorite impacts. However, due to the absence of accompanying craters in the desert, the theory doesn't hold up.
Exactly.
Neither satellite imagery nor sonar has been able to find any holes.
Right. Now, there is a crater in New Mexico. And if you go along the 40, like if you can go on your map and you can find like Albuquerque and then just follow the 40 over. And you can use Google Maps or whatever. Now, there is a crater, but it's not big enough to, I mean, I'm pretty sure it hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure that it hurt when it hit.
Oh, I-40. Which one's the I-40?
It's 40. It runs east to west. It's like Route 66.
See, 195.
Let me see if I can find it for you real quick, and then I'll link it to you.
Oh, what? It's showing me up in Philadelphia. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, it's not there. So there was a couple different volcanoes and stuff in New Mexico as well, but I'm gonna try to find the meteor crater that's in New Mexico.
Well, yeah, and like with Yellowstone, so I became but this is another one of my weird fucking holes or rabbit holes that I go down. Krakatoa was one of the largest. That almost wiped out. No, there was one before it, but Krakatoa was one of the largest ever recorded volcanic eruptions. Like it caused a nuclear winter. And it's assumed that if Yellowstone erupts, it's going to make Krakatoa look like fucking child's play.
Oh, if Yellowstone explodes, if Yellowstone erupts, you can say goodbye to at least 6 or 7 states.
At
and
least.
the entire population. And the fallout will reach as far down as Texas.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. And you know, the one thing that I did like when I was watching a lot of those kind of like documentaries or whatever you want to call them, those scientific shows, Canada isn't affected at all. It hits the North Dakota fucking border. Canada's fine.
So I sent you a link to the that crater.
Yeah, I'm looking at that. That is crazy. The Holsinger meteorite?
Whoa.
The meteor. It's up to 40. So it's just east of the Apache Death Cave.
There's one
exit 233.
There's
Aztec, New Mexico.
Yeah, there's a meteor crater. Well, it's called Meteor Crater Lake, or is it Crater Lake?
There's a Meteor Crater Road.
In Manitoba. It's right at the Ontario-Manitoba border.
Right. I mean, if you see the size of this crater, I mean, you can tell that it was a pretty decent sized meteor.
Jesus.
But it wasn't the fact that it was that's just how fast it was coming in. You know?
Yeah, on that link that you sent us, if you click on where it shows Google Map and directions, click on that. And then you can satellite view and zoom right in.
Yeah, you can zoom right into it. Then it has a bar and ranch or something, like Bar T Ranch next to it.
Jesus.
There's a visitor center. There's all kinds built around this crater.
Oh, it's in Arizona.
No, it's in New Mexico.
The fuck? That's what I clicked.
It's Arizona Road.
No, I'm Arizona, Phoenix, Tucson.
No, you got to look into the Aztec. It's Aztec, New Mexico.
No, I see what you're talking about. In the actual, when you click on the Google Maps, in the directions, it shows Meteor Crater Road in Arizona.
Right, but it's on the border. That's why.
Okay.
Wow, that's
if you look at the other, it's kind of on the border-ish. Because Flagstaff's, it's like between Winslow and Flagstaff. So it's right. It's like right close.
Yeah, I see it. Holy shit.
But that's just a little hole. That's not even the size of the one in in the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. Yeah, that's like, that terrifies me.
That's a BB compared to the one that hit the Gulf of Mexico. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, and that probably just fucking destroyed anything around there for miles, hundreds of miles.
Yeah, if you look at it like
Jesus.
compared to the visitor center, like which is massive and that massive parking lot, like it's a tiny little blip of the size of this crater. Wow,
Wow,
that is.
that is unbelievable.
Now, just think the caldera for the Yellowstone
Oh,
is not. I think they said it was like, oh, what was it? I don't want to lie. I think
something like two.
It's like 16 miles wide.
Is it that big? I thought it was because I know that
I'm going to verify. Hold on, I just want to tell you.
I know because there's multiple calderas. It's not just one. It's like 5 or 6 of them, and it crosses like 2 or 3 different states.
So they're saying it's approximately 30 by 45 miles.
Holy! Oh my god!
I want people to understand that if this goes off, goodbye, U.S.
Oh, it'd be a humanitarian crisis immediately.
It's a world, because this would create another ice age.
Yeah,
because of all the plume and everything that would be, dispersed up into the air.
And okay, so Yellowstone, is this a volcano?
Yes, it is.
So,
how big did you say this was?
So it's 30 by 45 miles.
The volcano?
The volcano caldera.
At 60 miles per hour, it would take you half an hour to drive across it.
Oh my god!
At least half an hour. So one thing that a volcano does, so when it erupts, it can kind of do a couple different things. So it could either like a typical, like, what you picture a normal volcano, an eruption comes from the top, and then you have the lava spills over and cools along the I don't know, I guess, well, what would it be? I don't know, I guess it's the vent. I don't know. It's not a vent, but where the magma comes out.
The magma chamber. It would be a magma chamber underneath.
Right, but I guess like where it finally reaches Earth, and then once it spills over, it ends up creating like
that comes out the caldera.
Yeah. So what ends up happening? So like say like Mount St. Helens is it just builds up pressure, and then finally, boom, it explodes. The idea or the thought with Yellowstone is it's had these massive eruptions, and the caldera is the magma chamber. So
the magma chamber is underneath the caldera. The caldera is the rim of the actual volcano.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is it erupts and then it collapses in on itself. And Yellowstone has done this several times, and they're massive. So it lets out it empties that magma chamber, and then the ground collapses, and it kind of seals itself.
So we were talking about like events in history, right? So the last time that Yellowstone exploded was 640,000 years ago.
Yeah, and they keep saying that it's
now we're within 1,000 years, or now that it should go again.
Yeah.
And that's where all the Old Faithful, the geyser, all those water spouts and sulfuric. If you look at the picture of the map, if you look at the maps that they have and the different colors that are coming out of that sulfuric water area of that caldera, it's nasty. But all those, they'd say you could set a time to Old Faithful, right? You could set your watch by it. So they're saying that there's more activity happening now around the park. And if you look at some of these images and stuff, you can see where the magma chambers are. You can see how big the caldera is. And, if you wanted to do a really fun thing, you can actually look at the eruption thing that would happen if it actually did go off, and how much devastation it would go.
Okay, wait.
It's
So most volcanoes, when you think of a volcano, you're thinking of this giant mountain
right.
that
Like most of the
stems
West
up.
Coast has most
This
of the
one
West
isn't.
Coast has the volcanoes. Like Alaska has the volcanoes that are going off. Hawaii has a volcano that going off. Washington has Mount Rainier, Mount Hood. There's Mount St. Helens. There's all those ones on the West Coast. But people aren't always talking about those. I mean, what you need to be talking about is Yellowstone, because that's going to be a planet devastator.
See that? Like, I'm looking at it. Like, that's like on the ground. Like, it's a big crater-looking thing filled with
they're all
water
on the
that
ground.
you wouldn't.
But they're all on the ground.
No, I know, but you know what I mean? Like, when you think of a volcano, you're thinking of this, like, triangular shape coming out of the ground, very high, and the volcano is going to come out of there, and it's going to come down the mountain towards you. Where this, like, you don't see your traditional what a volcano looks like. This looks just like a big pool of smoky water that is technically a volcano.
And it's not all smoky water. There's vegetation. There's a huge park built right on top of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's what's scary. So yeah, if you look, there's a couple of pictures that I'm looking at on Google. Maps, and you can see the devastation. You can see clearly the devastation that this one volcano would have on this country.
So I was looking like in National Geographic, so it gives exactly what a caldera is. So it is a large depression formed when a volcano erupts and collapses during a volcanic eruption. Magma present in the magma chamber underneath the volcano is expelled, often forcefully. When the magma chamber empties, the support that the magma had provided inside the chamber disappears. As a result, the sides and top of a volcano collapse inward. So, yeah, it would be like seeing like Mount St. Helens. It just blows apart, and then whatever's left just falls and fills this void.
Yeah, but because all that stuff, you gotta. It's just like filling a coffee can. They're like, you ever seen the Coke bottle with the Mentos, and they fill it up and it explodes?
Yeah.
That's the same thing a volcano does. It's building pressure, building pressure, building pressure, and then all of a sudden it explodes. So that mountain itself, it may look like the top, but it could be the entire mountain explode, and then all that debris gets thrown for miles, and then all of a sudden, then you're going to have the ash plume, the molten lava, all that stuff, and we don't even know where the vents are running. So those vents could be under, people's houses, just like you've seen in Hawaii. Hawaii was devastated because of the volcanoes. It just ruined, that's just creating more land, but
really,
yeah, it's going to destroy much, much, much more than anything we've ever seen if it goes off in our lifetime.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Yellowstone National. The caldera is literally statewide. It goes from Idaho to the east side of Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
It's a statewide.
Not the little pinprick that we get in New Mexico.
Well, I guess it's I guess it shouldn't say statewide, but it's the entire park. It goes, all is fine.
I'm looking at a map here of an example of the possible distribution of ash from a month-long Yellowstone super eruption. It's literally going all the way from Austin up until higher than Winnipeg, higher than Calgary. Like, we would all get it.
You know what they would blame this volcano going off on?
Trump.
Climate change.
Oh, yeah. Or Trump.
Yeah. They'd blame it on Trump, or climate change. Because people don't understand that climate change happens on this planet every couple thousand years, and regardless if you want, the magnetic poles shift, all that stuff happens. It freezes, gets hotter, gets colder, hotter, colder, hotter, colder. It does that multiple times over thousands of years. And people just don't understand it, but we're not going to, we're going to blame everything on climate change because we drive cars with exhaust.
There were articles back in the 50s saying that we have 10 years to fix global warming. Actually, at that time, it was called global cooling.
Right. So, and that's again, I'm just going to say, I'm going to call it big pharma, because I don't want to call it anything else right now. I'm gonna, because call everything big pharma, because everything gets pushed to people to settle an agenda. Whether it's, we'll get back into the whole political thing and the media thing and the music thing and the video game thing. We'll get in that another time. I know you guys kind of covered that before.
Need to go more into detail.
When you change, you can change people's lives, and generations by just explaining, hell, I mean, look at the TV, who just got arrested and who died, Weinstein went to prison for, all kinds of stuff, Epstein got killed in prison, supposedly. And
he supposedly hung himself, but
yeah, we don't want to go into that. We're going to get caught up. But yeah, I mean, you believe that, BLM, all that falsification stuff, Antifa. We can get all that stuff later, But it's a shit show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to call it. And people have blinders on, and people think, people are crazy for thinking that. We got tinfoil hats on because we're scared of all. No, it's true. People do monitor us. We carry around a monitor every day, like you said, with the cell phone. People, they know where you're at. They know what you're watching. You talk into your phone, you look at something on your phone, and guess where you find it? All the ads come up that you were searching for. They ask you, how did you like your visit at 7-Eleven? How was your burger at Burger King? How did you enjoy the movie? And they're like, well, how does my phone know this? Well, because they're listening. The
or when you
algorithms are
park
out there.
and you start walking away, and do you want your phone to remember where you parked? How did you know I was driving?
Right.
Well, how about this? Like this should be a big, but people should know this. How many times do you have a conversation with someone in person, face to face, and someone says, "Oh, I've been looking at buying new shoes." How many times do you suddenly get ads for fucking shoes?
Yeah, right on your email on your phone.
Yeah,
yep.
It's just like, how many times does it need to be a coincidence before it's something more than a coincidence?
Well, people don't want to believe it.
Purposeful.
So people don't want to believe it.
And I think a lot of us, we're just doing the day to day.
We live in a free world. Remember that?
Yeah. But people, they have jobs to go to, they have family, they have friends, they want to go on their vacations. And I think most people just want to be left alone, don't cause ripples, and just carry on.
Yeah, most people are like that. Okay, so back on topic real quick. And I know I listened to you guys a little bit before I joined, and you guys were talking about the 9/11 conspiracy and all that stuff. What I want to know is, where did the $2.2 trillion go that they talked about the week of 9/11?
Oh, do you mean the 9/11 commission?
Where did the $2.2 trillion that disappeared that he talked about on the lawn of the White House before 9/11 happened? I want you to look that up real quick. Look that up real quick.
Oh, Rumsfeld?
Yes.
Cannot account for $2.3 trillion.
Yeah, where did that money go? And all of a sudden 9/11 happened, and that's never been talked about again.
Well, there was... So this is one thing. Look up, what is it called? I think it's either called the $1 million or the $1 billion gas station. I think it's the $1 million gas station. Check this out. There we go. The one secret $43 million gas station.
A $43 million gas station in Afghanistan.
What?
One gas station.
What?
The world's most expensive gas station.
But there's one, I believe that there's one it's just by the Pentagon. It's either $1 million or $1 billion. What gas station do you know costs that fucking much?
It's what's under the gas station that counts.
What's under it is what I'd like to know. For $43 million, I'm assuming there's gold.
So,
Well, it says that an immigrant from India becomes an owner of $1 billion gas station empire in Garden City. Let's see. I don't know about that one, but I mean, $1 billion or even $1 million gas station. I mean, yeah, but still 2.3 trillion, dude.
yeah.
Now, what they were saying is, what did that missile hit the Pentagon? Because it wasn't a plane. Which part of the Pentagon did it kill? Did it kill the accountant side?
Well, it was the
side?
new, yeah, when it was all new construction. Like they just finished constructing it.
So, but there's $2.3 trillion unaccounted for that was broadcasted on national television, and then they just said no words about that ever again. You know what I mean? And so, where did it go?
Oh,
Who's gonna bring it up?
It looks like it was announced literally the day before. I don't know. According to this, it says whatever happened to the 2.3 trillion unannounced or unaccounted for by the Pentagon. It was announced on the September 10th, 2001.
Exactly.
Oh, that's messed up.
That's what I'm saying. So you want to go conspiracy? Let's go conspiracy.
Yeah.
Well,
that's my favorite one right there. That you asked me, that's the one.
The plane that hit the Pentagon.
No, the $2.3 trillion that disappeared.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is kind of strange that nobody ever talked about that again.
No one ever.
Well, no, because all this horrible thing happened literally the day after.
Mm-hmm.
See, because some of them that I'm seeing, like it's kind of like conspiracy kind of websites. So I'm looking for something. I don't know. Let's Daily Star. I think I've heard of them. I don't know their political leanings, but yeah. September 10th, Donald Rumsfeld revealed the Pentagon had lost a whopping 2.3 trillion. Less than 48 hours was 9/11. Or I guess, well, less than 48 hours later, the shocking revelation was forgotten as a chilling sense of 9/11 took over the news agenda.
Okay, so let's look what happened. What things were hit during 9/11? Oh, yeah, the World Trade Towers. Conspiracy that.
And you wonder where the conspiracy of it.
You wonder where $2.3 million could have disappeared, and then our World Trade Centers were destroyed?
Accounting offices in the Pentagon were blown up, and accounting offices based in New York buildings in the World Trade Centers were demolished.
Yeah.
All the evidence gone.
All the evidence is gone.
Oh my God.
Conspiracy that.
Right? I think my mind just blew up. I think I need the tinfoil hat all of a sudden. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Naysayers keen to debunk the myth that the government deliberately crashed into the Pentagon claim that the loss of life and reconstruction work cost more than the missing budget funds. Others argue the missing budget did not go missing at all, that it just could not be accounted for in the paper trail. However, truth seekers claim this is further proof that a secret black ops budget that is siphoning off funds for top secret space expeditions. Okay.
Okay. Well,
that's a whole other conspiracy in itself.
This is somebody else saying
but
regarding.
You do know that there's that one guy that claims to be, that he claims that we are fighting in other galaxies.
I do it every day on MechWarrior Online. There is okay. So one person had made a comment about this whole the trillion or 2.3 trillion dollar thing. Okay, so they had said one of the questions that we should be asking is why were put options placed on American and United Airlines prior to 9/11? Why was there a huge insurance policy put on the WTC shortly before 9/11?
Yep.
There's exterior footage from the Pentagon. And where's all the exterior footage from the Pentagon?
And why can't they find any aircraft wreckage on any of the sites?
Well, there was one they did find a lot of wreckage, but I don't remember.
So on Flight 93 in Pennsylvania, there was no wreckage, not a single suitcase or piece of clothing found. on the Pentagon. It was not wide enough for a plane to have crashed into, because otherwise the wings would have created a lot more devastation, because that's where the fuel is. The motor that was shown on TV was not from an airliner.
Yeah, there was some weird stuff. Wasn't it like the debris that was found was either not enough to even recreate, like put the plane like even closely back together?
Yeah, it was already pre-wrecked stuff.
Yeah, or it was either so much that it was one or the other. Just something didn't line up with that. But I don't know. I haven't really looked into it. It was just kind of a...
Well, go back to the interviews of 9/11, and they say there was no plane, that it just exploded.
What? On what? On the towers or on the Pentagon?
The tower. The photo, the planes were put in there during the media event.
Well, hold on.
Because there was people, they were saying, their interviews were talking about there was no planes. The building just exploded.
Really?
Yeah, and then there's things too where it shows that there was workers in there before, contractors filling the walls, and pictures show that the walls were filled with C4.
What?
Yeah, the labeling, the aluminum stuff that goes over the C4 that put it in the walls. Look it up. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, like I remember hearing a lot of the stuff like, oh, there was thermite on the steel beams.
It was professionally done, because you can't tell me. Professionals had to have done this, because there was only certain buildings that were destroyed during this whole thing. Now, if it was just a terrorist hitting a building and just whack-a-moling a building, it would have been totally different. But there was explosions upon explosions happening after the fact that a supposed plane or missile or whatever hit it, and watch entire floors crumble on each other.
Yeah, see, like I've heard
so that only happens when you're trying to level a building.
A controlled demolition. Yeah, see, I don't know. I've seen some like contradicting information that, well, with just the amount of weight that those, 20-something floors that were above it, and this kind of free fall, like that amount of weight, like 20 floors of anything is fucking heavy. So, but it like there's a lot of weirdness surrounding it. Okay, like I did not know that it was the financial sector of the Pentagon that got hit, and what Building 7 was. Well, that was it was all government documents, and that whole building. But that building was hit by, I think, chunks of the World Trade Centers. And
ooh, that's magic.
Yeah. See, like, even
my mind is blowing up right now, you
guys. like looking at the damage from on the Pentagon, and I don't. It's kind of I don't know. It's either government is really fucking smart, and I typically go the side of, maybe how does the expression go? Fun. There we go.
Look, if I wanted to tell you, or if I wanted something to happen, the only thing that took us to combat was what? We said someone blew up, attacked our country, and that gave the country support to say, okay, let's go do this. I think it was an excuse to cover up much more than we really know.
It would make so much sense, too. Like, honestly, talking about the $2.3 trillion that went missing, our boy Bush, or our boy, their boy Bush was the one that was in running at the time. And we were literally just talking about how the CIA were doing all these experiments and stuff like that on people, and seeing them do this and do that. Like, who's to say that this literally wasn't a government cover-up? They're like, oh shit, we're going to get busted. We got to do something fast. Let's destroy all the evidence so no one finds out. And then everyone's going to be sidetracked by this. And plus, they're not going to have any evidence to show what happened to that $2.3 trillion. It makes so much sense, honestly. Like, oh, wish I just knew.
see. Again, well, this isn't the full quote, but it was like the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he doesn't exist. So I always come from the side of government is so out of touch with its people that they just kind of throw in policies like, oh, the peasants will like this. Yeah, of course they'll like this. But then maybe that's the greatest trick is government convinced people that they are so incapable of doing their job. Wait.
Well, not only that, they wanted oil.
Keep their mouth shut.
They wanted oil. They wanted money. I mean, that's also another perfect cover-up is blame these people from over in Iran or Iraq or wherever, and let's just go attack them and bomb them and blame them. No one will ever know the wiser, and then we can get in there and steal their shit, their resources. I'm telling you, my mind is literally blowing up right now.
So, and then again, you got to look at the controversies or the conflicts that we had. So, in 2000 and in 2003, when we went into Iraq, who owned the supporting companies that were going to help the troops and rebuild those countries? Wasn't it KBR or something like that? Kellogg Brown and Root. Who owned that? Didn't Dick Cheney or someone own like a portion of that company or own that company?
Well, I know. Dick Cheney and Bush. I thought didn't Dick Cheney come from like one?
I know Halliburton. I think Halliburton was on part of that, but I mean, I think it was Halliburton and Kellogg Brown and Root. That gained billions and billions of dollars in contracts to be over there to support everything and rebuild.
Oh, okay. So the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. The second greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he is the good guy.
Mm-hmm. His name is Joe.
Damn. His name is Joe.
Biden?
I didn't say that. No.
Oh, it's just a funny name. The devil's name is Joe. Can't be like Lucifer or my name's Joe and I'm the devil.
His name is Joe.
Joe, I like it. Sounds
Batacalf care.
You can take whatever you want out of that. I did not say any last names.
Yeah, it's stuff. It's stuff like the provable stuff, like the 100% provable. The government has either admitted it or documents have been released that confirmed these allegations, I should say. That when stuff like this happens, it's not a crazy leap to make. Like I said, the Gulf of Tonkin, completely fabricated to get the U.S. into a war it had no business being in. Or, the name any other one of the other ones that I brought up. It's not that far of a stretch. So it's a crazy, but they're like, I don't know. I think they're fun. It's espionage and secrecy and shit. I just think the government's fucking dumber than they really are.
I don't know. This is like seeing what the government is capable of and the kind of things that they already do that we already are aware of. I don't think they're going to care about 1,000 people's lives to cover their own tracks. Well, they've been experimenting on people for years, and they don't care the consequences of that. They don't have consequences.
The little people don't matter. It only matters what the people with the people that are running this world want to happen. Yeah. That's a whole other conspiracy too. If you want to look that up, the families that rule the world.
Yeah.
The Rothschilds. All the. You'll look it up. You'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway,
Clintons. Or a lot of
Bundy,
those Saudi
Mullins,
princes.
No. We're talking about the European names from. They started in the medieval times, and one of the kings sent all his family members to different reaches of the planet to start the banking system.
the
A certain
Rothschilds.
Rothschild's one of them.
certain institutions, we should say. I think that's probably a fair point to.
That's with the whole New World Order, isn't it?
Well, so actually, here I'll say this: the church actually started the banking system. Well, I shouldn't say started, but the modern banking system that we understand, like, you put your money in here and it's available in another place. So that's where actually like fiat currency kind of came from, was actually from the Catholic Church. So you would get IOUs, you would put your money in one church, and then you would have a paper saying, okay, I have this much money, or I in this church, and you could use it somewhere else. That's a interesting little thing for you.
Interesting indeed.
Yeah.
People don't realize too. That's one of the reasons why the Revolutionary War happened, or our Civil War.
Yeah.
Which is
I know,
why?
it's part of it.
The Civil War was based on the big banker company, the big companies coming into U.S. and causing their inflation, and they wanted everybody to work for the banks and get money from the banks. The South didn't want it. It wasn't about slavery. It was about the economic future of the country.
Well, and there was definitely a slavery component to it.
Well, that's what you've been told.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Bam.
You just dropped the mic.
All right, so then lay it on me.
So
I thought it was all
Jesse
about
James
ending
actually
slavery.
had a big hand in that shit too.
You
Got to
did?
look at that.
The Monster Garage guy?
No, the real Jesse James.
Cowboy?
Yep.
Ooh. Interesting.
And what he was really involved in.
What was he in? What? Come on, give me the juice.
No, I can't. We're not talking about that today.
Son of a bitch. Fucking Jesse James is fucking hot. Holy shit. I looked up Jesse James and I got some fucking shit.
Are you looking at the
Oh,
chick?
yeah, I guess so.
No.
Ooh,
Gotta look cowboy, sweetie.
Jesse James Decker?
Now, if you think this guy is hot, you might need a
Not Jesse James Decker.
It's just Jesse James, sweetie. Type in Jesse James Cowboy. You'll get it.
Cowboy.
Jesse James Conspiracy. Type in that.
I use DuckDuckGo. I don't use Google.
Well,
so
DuckDuckGo. Or Duck Goose, or whatever you want to call your duck.
What really happened to Jesse James?
Yeah.
Jesse James was shot and killed by Robert Ford, a new recruit to the gang.
Him and Ford were friends.
You mean the Ford Motor Company?
Another conspiracy.
Right? No, it's not the same Ford, is it?
What do you think? There's more than one family?
Okay, so he was a new recruit in the gang who hoped to collect a reward on James's head and promised amnesty for his previous crimes. Already a celebrity in life, Jesse James became a legendary figure in the Wild West. Robert Ford killed Jesse James, and Robert Ford created
Ford Motor Company.
Wow.
Wait, no, that's not. That can't be the same Robert. Like, no. Wait, wasn't it? Wait, why am I thinking Gerald Ford? That was a U.S. president. Right? Am I? Robert Newton Ford? No, this is a different guy. This has to be a different. Yeah, he was best known for his assassination of Jesse James in 1882. Hmm. So what's the conspiracy?
So conspiracy had multiple different aliases, and he was part of the secret society thing that started up back in the day.
Like Jesse James or Robert Ford?
No, Jesse James and Robert Ford were part of it. But it started because Jesse James was made out to be this big bad bank robber dude or whatever. And he was actually a really smart, influential person that made things happen. So it's just like if I want something to happen, I have to make something happen to make something happen to show that something's happening, right? You get that kind of line of processing?
Yes.
Yeah, hold on. Could you say that again, please?
Okay. So I got to make something happen to make something happen to make it look like something happened.
Right. No,
so I'm not involved in it, but something happened that starts a chain of events that makes something happen later.
Yeah, Rube Goldberg machine.
Right.
In real life.
So he was kind of part of that situation where he was making things happen for this organization under the guise of many different things. So even when they say was Jesse really assassinated, there's pictures of the same dude after he was supposedly assassinated under a different name. And so
one of those.
I think one of them was that he actually lived to become a senator under a different name.
Well, I guess back in that time, it was actually quite easy to.
All you had to do is move.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So I guess the Americas have been in dealing with this tomfoolery for a little bit.
Look, there's been conspiracy for hundreds of thousands of years.
Oh, yeah.
You know, just go ask the Vatican to look at some of their stuff and watch what happens.
But if they look at their own stuff, they're going to get boners from all the fucking kids.
Whoa.
Oh, did I say that out loud? Whoops, sorry. Well, stop fucking raping kids.
So, I mean, it's very people are quick to jump to conclusions after something was said. Like, I can give you a little bit of information, then all I got to do is let your imagination go. And then it spreads like wildfire.
Did you ever see the movie? Oh, what was it called? Was it Merchants of Doubt? I think that's what it was called. Oh, I think that's what it was called. How a handful of scientists obscured the truth on issues from tobacco smoke to global warming. So in this movie, they would have a proposed expert in, well, let's say like with tobacco. You know, everyone knew that the tobacco company was funneling money into saying that tobacco doesn't hurt, and a bunch of other types of stuff like that. And it was literally the same people that were arguing as an expert to say that tobacco or smoking cigarettes wasn't harmful. The same, not just the same company, the same people were now arguing for global warming, or how global warming isn't real, and really
get all these factions
weird.
They're getting millions and billions of dollars off telling people certain things to make something happen.
Yeah, like people have, as like the sugar industry paid off scientists to say that sugar is good for you.
Well, it's the same thing that's going on with electric energy. The ozone and the atmosphere gets worse by creating chemicals to make batteries than what we already have.
Well, the thing,
I've had a few
same with the pharmaceutical companies and the restaurant industry. They're all in cahoots together.
So the thing about the why I like to call things big pharma, because I was in this place one time and I was getting pain management done, and I'm listening, in the next room, and the walls are pretty thin. And I was sitting in this exam room for like 30 minutes waiting on my doctor or physician or whatever I want to call them at the time to come in and see me. And I'm listening to their conversation and I'm like, okay, well, who's this guy that comes in a suit with a briefcase and takes priority over a patient? And I literally heard them say, hey, if you recommend this product, I'm not going to say the product, we're going to give you this percent or whatever percent, you know. And I'm going to tell you what, not 15 minutes freaking later, you know what they came in and offered me?
Yep.
That same medication. And I told them, you know what? I'm done here. You guys can go push that shit off on somebody else. And I'll name what it is. And it's a restricted drug now, but it wasn't before. And it's not healthy for people to take it. And they give it to people with diabetes for nerve pain and all that stuff. But what they don't tell you is the side effects take away your judgment and your ability to control your what is I calling your mouth. You become a different person. It changes your personality. It does everything. And it's called gabapentin.
I knew that stuff. Oh my God, I used to sell that stuff.
Gabapentin is no joke. I was on it for a while, and my wife even told me I got mean. I started saying things like I didn't give a shit. And like I didn't care anymore. I didn't care how I felt or what I said made you hurt your feelings or nothing. And I found that out. And I stopped taking it. And I'm going to tell you what, when I stopped taking that stuff, my whole life changed again. You know, my friends started wanting to come back around me again. People I worked with wanted to come back around and talk to me again. My wife was nice to me again. My son was nice to me again. You know, they wanted to be around me. Everybody else was trying to avoid me because I was just being an asshole.
That's that's been like a known thing for a long time. Not with that particular medication, but pharmaceutical reps will. There's
a movie about what is that? The Oxycontin now.
Is it the Prescription Thugs? That one?
There's a movie about it. There's a new movie coming out about it. I've seen it.
Movie or
I've seen the preview. It was a movie. Well, I guess you could call it documentary, but it's
Prescription Thugs. That was a good one. Cocaine Cowboys. Those are good movies.
That was a very good documentary.
Documentaries, but
Cocaine Cowboys. That's completely off the topic of pharmaceutical medication. That was
not really.
is it not? Oh, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking of a documentary that.
The Wild, Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Oh my God, why can't I remember it? It was about the cops.
Oh, that was Cocaine Cowboys. Yeah, that was that. Or you mean 7-5?
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no. That's been known for a long time. Pharmaceutical representatives will pay off doctors like nice dinners, cutbacks, percentage of sales.
100%. They work off commission as well. I mean, you think about their prescription pads. I remember back in the day, I'm pretty sure it's probably gone up now, but they would get like $5 per prescription they wrote. Like those prescription pads were worth money for them. So it's one of those things, 100%, is the doctors are in the pharmaceutical companies' pockets, and then you have the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry, whether it's restaurant or even just your everyday foods. They're all in cahoots together. They're literally just trying to make Americans sick or experiment on them or whatever. And yeah, you get them sick, you get them unhealthy, then they need medication. So ka-ching.
Yeah, and if anyone thinks that Canada is free from scrutiny, man, think of a single payer system. And this is one thing I think Americans don't understand. When you have, like, I would support a 2-tiered system, a basic public service. You know, if you go to the doctor, you're sick. You know, just your baseline care. I'm okay with that. In fact, I would like everyone has a baseline care, and then you could get supplemental insurance or supplemental something in order for more stuff. But one thing that happens when, especially this is a big problem in Canada, our medical system is fucked. It is underfunded every single year, and this is why I brought this up with talking about when our premier cut back funding. Every single flu season, our medicals, our hospitals get overwhelmed. They cannot cope with just the regular flu. So when you have a single payer system, look at a good analogy would be look at universities, guaranteed loans. Well, anyone with half a fucking brain would say, well, I know that whatever I charge, I'm getting paid no matter what. So, well, tuition, $12,000, 20, now 40, $60,000 for tuition. And it's a guarantee. That's all you've seen is tuition prices rise. What happens when you have the government is now funding your medical system? Charge whatever the fuck you want. It's coming from the government. Government has a whole population to of pockets. It's a very like my old doctor ended up leaving Canada because she said I make better money in the States. Sorry. Like,
well, you also have a socialist system up there. You have a socialist medical system, just like over in Europe. And people don't understand that, and everyone in the States is always like, well, we need better medical too. But people don't realize that in a socialist medical system, you have, and people have told me too before, that when you go to see a doctor and you're under socialist medical, you're going to see a doctor and the doctor is going to charge you. You're going to get seen by the doctor because it's free. And the doctor's going to tell you, well, guess what? I'll do this for you if it's going to be $2,000 for me to actually do it, or $3,000 for me to actually do it, or $500 for me to actually prescribe you something, because that's not covered under the actual, medical stuff. Now, if you have to have surgery or something, that's a little different, but to actually be seen and they can charge you anything they want, like a copay, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, with us, like a lot of that stuff is covered. Like if you want to go see a specialist, you can, but it's whenever you sit in a queue.
Right. Oh, yeah, you're waiting a long time. I'm talking months and months, sometimes even years, depending on, well, maybe not to see a specialist, but to get a certain surgery. You need, say, a knee replacement. You could be waiting years. You need a transplant.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I think everyone knows that the medical industry, like in terms of like hospitals, physicians, that type of stuff, is all controlled by the medical or the insurance industry. A hospital can charge $20 for a Tylenol, $20 fucking dollars or more for a Tylenol, and then all these other fees. A bottle of Tylenol is what, $10? I don't know. I don't buy Tylenol, but surely not one pill costs $20 fucking dollars. But it's supplemented because a hospital can charge whatever they want. Insurance is going to pay for it. So I don't know. People that think that Canada's system as a baseline. Okay, I would say that's bare bones minimum. But I would actually be very in support of a two-tier system, private and public. I think Alberta and British Columbia have started doing like a two-tier kind of system.
Right. So like you said, when you have one healthcare system, the government can charge whatever they want to charge, or tax-wise, to keep getting taxes more and more and more, or whatever, based on your one healthcare system. When you have a privatized healthcare system, there's competition. And when there's competition, it drives prices lower. Now, the care doesn't change. It just changes the prices of your care because people want you to come see them. So they're going to lower their price, even though you're going to get the same care.
Yeah.
So, And that's the bonus of, the way the States does it. Now, I'm not saying that the States is perfect, because it's not, because there are people that don't have health care because they don't have money, or they don't have an insurance. You know what I mean? But again, that's a choice, because you either buy insurance or you don't. I mean, that's, either you work, you have a job that provides those benefits, or you find you a PPO or whatever that you can afford, and you pay into it every month instead of buying your brand new rims or your brand new stereo or your 10 cups of coffee, in the morning at Starbucks for the month. You know what I mean? So you have a choice. And that's an individual choice. And those people need to make those choices to make it happen. So I can't change that.
Yeah, and I think it ends up dividing, things get more and more and more expensive. So they say, well, the government should pay for this. Whenever I hear that, I think was it Ronald Reagan said, the scariest words you could ever hear from the government or from someone is, I'm from the government, I'm here to help.
Yep.
Like that's, and 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 I remember the thing from Amy Schumer, and her, say what you will about her, but she ended up doing a skit. She was in a hospital, and her legs were up in stirrups, and there were all these like bureaucrats in the room, and they were all holding like clipboards and folders and stuff. She's like, "Who are these guys?" It was a ripoff of another skit, because she doesn't. But the point is, she kept saying, "Well, who are these guys? Why are they doing? I don't want the government in my doctor's office." Well, when you tell the government, I want you to do this for me, they're the one foot in the bill.
They're going to do what they want.
And so they're going to say, well, we approve this medication, not this medication. We approve this procedure, not that procedure. That's what happens when you allow a government to dictate something that they have no business in dictating. I want the government to pay for my birth control. They should pay for my, feminine products. They should pay for condoms. They should pay for all this type of stuff. Well, now, like when anyone goes to a grocery store and you see a jar of peanut butter is $12 for this very nice artisan, handcrafted, small batch, I don't know, fucking the best peanut butter in the world. And then you see the $2 fucking shitty one. Well, when government gets involved, they say you can only have this one. You can only have the shitty peanut butter.
That's like having WIC?
Yeah. Like, the government now decides, instead of you saying, well, I really like this one. Well, no, that's not approved. You can't have that nice peanut butter. You have to go with this other stuff. But I don't like that stuff. Tough shit. You're not paying the fucking bill. I am. It's, man, we've gone all over the fucking place. But okay, so since we're kind of jumping all over the place,
you have content for days.
I do.
Cut and edit everything.
Yeah, there you go, Kim. You got a job to do.
What's my job?
You have to kind of cut this up a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, it was God, how long have we been going for?
You want to know? 2 hours and 55 minutes.
Holy shit.
Just under 3 hours.
So, Kim, I'm gonna post this in. You know what? Let's say maybe we'll save this for Friday. We'll save this one for Friday. But if anyone's actually made it this fucking far, I wanted to leave with one quote. And again, sorry, it's from Mark Twain. Guy knew a thing or two. He's
Hey, you
kind of
like him?
a smart guy. I do. He is very intelligent. He is very philosophical. And it says, and he's quoted as saying, keep away from people who will try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that. But the real great ones make you feel that you too can become great.
You know, I have a saying that says too. I always try to associate with people that are better than me.
Yep.
Like they might not be more educated, but I'm saying they're just people that I could. If I call you a friend, that means, or if you're over my house, or if I associate with you, then you're more likely a person that, you know, because they always say that. What's the old saying? You are who you hang out with.
Yeah.
You're the median of your friends.
Right. So. And so I try to make my friends better than me so I can end up good.
Yeah. Yeah. And I surround myself with people that, you know, like they do their own businesses. They're, you know, very intellectual. They're not bad people. I don't like negativity.
Right.
And I see there's a lot of negativity in the world.
Like
Yeah.
if I want to be in water, I'm gonna put myself with some high quality H2O.
Yeah.
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 You know what I'm saying?
Be like water.
I don't want cheap shit.
Yeah.
Quality.
Yeah.
It's always quality over quantity.
100%.
Yep. You know, and that's the thing. Like I have like actual friends like from high school. I maybe have three friends from high school that I still talk to. I would say on a regular basis, or people that I stay in close contact. Outside of that, not really. I don't have a lot. But the people that I do surround myself with, like I said, they're intellectual, they're kind people, and they're business people. And those are all things that I strive to improve upon. Because you know, at the end of the day, it is so easy just to tear down, to complain, and you know what? This was a fun conversation. It's fun to get into different ideas and stuff. But ultimately, I like to hope that the world is moving into positivity, is being a better place. And as cynical as I can be at times, I hope that the movements that are going on, people would recognize that segregating people and treating people as the other or the outsider is not a way to unify people. We're all humans, regardless of
it does
skin
just the
color.
opposite, actually.
It does, yeah. When you stop communicating with someone else, this is a great example. Think of someone that you had an argument with, or someone that you're going to have an argument with. Before you're even there, you already had that discussion in your mind of, well, if they say this, I'm going to say this. Oh, why would they even think of saying that? Oh, I'm going to get them back. You've already started a war in your own head. Instead of, I try to come from the side of, I assume people's intentions are good. Even if someone says something rude, I laugh it off. Most of the time, I'll laugh it off. Because I assume that they're trying to be funny, or they're trying to make a joke. They're trying to be kind. And that's mostly how I choose to look at the world. I assume that most people are good and are trying to do good. But I would hope that, I guess to get back to this quote, that people surround themselves with people that seek positive change, that brings everyone together, not the ones that separate and segregate and isolate all of us.
Right.
you know.
Agreed.
But that was my shitty little intellectual part. So
I like it.
Yeah.
I think with that, fucking 3 hours. Holy shit.
Yeah.
You did a good job.
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here.
I'm playing MechWarrior right now, so I don't know about y'all.
Well, I was gonna log into
I've been playing the whole time we've been talking. So.
Well, Jimmy, I'm gonna come join you.
I can't sit here and lie to you. So. I work nights until 3 a.m, so I'm like, I'm up. I got to keep my schedule. So.
Well, I'm gonna come join you right away. Thank you so much for coming in. Okay. Thank you so much for coming in and talking with us.
You're very welcome.
Talking about conspiracies, and you blew my mind a few times.
I like it. Anytime, guys. Anytime.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Like, subscribe, share away. We'll be back in a few days.
Yeah. Patreon, Spotify, Rumble, YouTube.
Facebook.
Oh yeah, Retard Book. I'm not on Twitter. I don't know. I haven't thought of a name for Twitter yet. It's not even a thought. But anyways, yeah. All right. Cut the feed.
Good night, everyone.